Awesome. So recording now. So we'll plan to make this public. If there's any parts that you think, at some point you're hearing it and you're like, I don't want this to be public, just let me know and we'll stop right then and then start again. Sound good?
Okay. Yep. Sounds great.
Cool. So first of all, I just want to thank you for all of the abundant support lately, sending George and connecting me with George and all the other, ways that you've been supporting is really, so awesome. And I'm so grateful and so excited to see, what we can do and how we can make the energy flow and everything. With George, it's really all up to him, because from my perspective, I could easily see he and I doing, millions, if not billions of dollars in business together,
Oh yeah.
and
Sure.
and for you, for you to automatically receive like 10% of that is kind of amazing, crazy when you think about it. But it's like, but if we can create that world where like that's what's happening, how amazing. And to me, again, it seems to me, we won't get into, well, I guess we need to get into some of the details today just to get it kind of settled, because I want, I know it's not the reason that you're connecting me with George is the financial part. I know it's because you want to create the world the way you want the world to be, and you see each of us holding the energy. And it's why you connect with everybody the way that you connect, and what you do is because you have a vision for how you want to see the world. And when you find people that are in alignment with that world, in your vision, then, they make it into your world, right?
Exactly. That's exactly right. It's almost like we are like casting a spell, and then all of a sudden it's like we start conjuring all of these people that start appearing into the scene. It's kind of like these missions that need to be accomplished so that we can get to that reality, or the highest reality that we want to be a part of. And I see that reality, it's unfolding in the now, but like I've already seen it in the future. It's already done. It's just now, it's just like all the moving pieces to get there.
For sure. I totally appreciate that, and the way that you see that, and the way that you vision that. I'm very similar in that way. And I was even, sharing it with Kat today. A lot of the things that we're doing now are the future, regardless of whether we're bringing it to the world or not. What we're doing is we're showing a more evolved version of humanity based on the tools that we have. So if we trust that humanity is going to be able to evolve in these positive, productive ways, we're showing pathways to do that now. Like, we don't have to wait for some future way of being. Like, here's systems that allow us to create with each other and support each other and get everyone's needs met. And just, it's almost like impossible to have less success using the systems that we're talking about. It's almost like guaranteed success, right? It's like if you just organize all of the things that you want and you attach incentives to each one of them and you inspire people. So that's one of the things that I talked about with Kat that was new and I want to share with you, is that I'm seeing that it's like the combination of the incentive and the inspiration that gives the power for that, idea to go, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes for some people, the incentive is enough. If there's a financial incentive, like that's enough. I'm going to do it because I'm going to get that money. For other people, they're so inspired by it that they don't need any money. They don't need whatever. It's like, I just want to do that because I want to see that happen, type of thing. And then there's, like the combination of, feeding both at the same time simultaneously. And that's kind of the vector of what anybody's offer, essentially, to be a part of what they're doing, to be a stakeholder or to be a vision holder, is based on the combination of how inspiring they are in being with people and inviting them, and how much they're incentivizing those people to participate as well. So that's, the thing to keep in mind as we focus, on what you're wanting to create, what you're offering to those that are willing to show up to help you create, is really a combination of this, how much you're inspiring them, and then how much you're backing that up with incentive that means something to them. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. It's creating like a win-win situations.
Exactly. It's win-wins. Yeah. It's win-win situations. And then this is, let me take a quick drink.
Yeah.
This is where once we map out all of our needs, and actually what I was realizing just before I spoke with Kat today, and we've been focusing on the manifestation process to help people achieve their visions and getting into this whole framework and all that sort of thing. But really, I see that the lead with people, beyond even this I feel like is useful for everybody, but it's also a lot to digest and use in a way, So, right. So what's like the simpler version? The simpler version is, what do you need? What do you know that you need? I need a babysitter. I need a video editor. I need a bike mechanic. What are the needs that you have right now? And then what do you have to offer, in exchange? Obviously right. Money is what we've always used, but if not money, then what? And there are different things, and we'll get into some of them about, different ways that we provide currency, in our society, and we can use that, in exchange for these things. But the bottom line is that you're specifying all of your needs. This Kat specifying all of her needs. I'm specifying all of my needs. Now we can all see what each other's needs are, and we can see what the incentive is to support in that way. And we can say, I want to support Kat with this. I can help Jared with that. It's, in a way, it's like all of our friends are making offers to all of us all of the time. And the ones that are most inspiring to us are the ones that we embrace and decide. So in a sense, it's turning into like an inspiration society. Everyone is trying to inspire us. And corporations are as well. It's no longer like interrupted marketing. It's like, we're living in a world of inspiration where the competition is who can inspire you the most to get your time and your energy and your finances and whatever you have to give. So it's a whole shift of our society. And in that whole shift, you get to look and you say, what does Jared need? What does Kat need? Oh, I'm going to give her. So you're actually giving, you're looking to see what the needs are, and you're giving first. So it's actually a pay it forward system. So you're like, Kat, I'm going to help you with this. And then, you know, if and when you're successful, you'll get something in return, but you're actually helping this person first, and you're helping this person first, and you're putting out your pay it forward energy, and then it's coming back to you in the system in these very tangible ways, right?
Yeah. I think that should be part of the game that we were talking about. And once you meet Tsunami and basically learn more about like all of that infrastructure and how it's being set up, so that our different partnerships and alliances, like we can all have like a world set up within the game, that we can have like all of these different games, right? So that maybe that's like the United for Action game with those specific quests and roles. There's going to be all different ones that we can plug in.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm excited about that. It is super exciting. It's really, really great. Cool. So I want to, I want to spend some time. Thank you for saying that and for connecting the dots with all of that. It's really, really great. I'm super excited to connect with Tsunami. I know you said he was in Vegas this week, right? So like next week.
Well, I know he's already back. He's probably just getting himself acquainted. So I'll send him a little reminder.
Okay, cool. What I wanted, I'm thinking. Okay, cool. What I want to do too is I want to set up the page for Cynthia. You and I spoke mostly about it actually before our manifestation process meetings. It was in our first meeting, that you were
Yeah.
telling me what you were up to. And so actually I wanted to confirm with you because we never agreed in the beginning to make that public. Actually, I'll share the link.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, so you can review it and make sure you want to make the whole thing public. And then that'll be part of it. And I'll at least start cutting the parts out of there where you talked about, that so that we
No, right.
so we can have a
About that.
page. Yeah, so we can have a page for Tsunami to look at as a starting point, and then also for him to understand that this is how he's going to start to use the system and start to have others, bring in their thoughts and the whole collaborative environment, right? That's really where this goes, is that and that's where, again, like the page that I made for like Cedar Island, I don't know if you shared that with.
Yeah, I shared that with him actually. So he said
Great.
he was gonna go through it, give me his thoughts. I know he gets really busy, so just give him some space, and then I'll chime back in.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about more of that stuff near the end. I want to focus now on.
Yeah.
You said what you were thinking, and again, we can go wherever today. But last we left off, you said, I think that I'll narrow it to something like the tantric temple, where
I think that's like right now, like that's my most immediate,
right?
Because that's like, I feel like that's priority, because that's already like I'm very active in that space, like that's like my everyday, right? So it's like I really need to get that as a priority. Everything else, it's like really big. It's like future plans, and it's all working, right? Like Kelly's out in Costa Rica, they're already looking at where all the housing is gonna go for the land and all these things. So it's all working, right? Tsunami's working on the metaverse, so everything is happening. And for me personally, it's like, okay, I need to have this space to facilitate these experiences, these transformational experiences, right? And I just think that there's already a lot of resources happening right now with like what Rico and I are doing, where we're getting all of our systems together for our Eco Rainbow Goddesses organization and the product line that's gonna serve like as a fundraiser for all of our eco villages. And also basically what we want to do is we want to have like a healing space, and we want to have it here locally in Florida, like I mentioned before.
A healing, what did you say?
A healing space for the Tantric Conservatory. So basically what we want to do is we want to have a space to do sessions, and where we could also have courses and classes there, and workshops and like levels of training, right? So we were doing this budget because we're applying for a grant, and in this grant we need to like come up with what are your expenses, what do you need money for, right? So it got like my wheels going, and I know Rico's too. Rico right now, he's very just wanting to focus on the supplement business to automate that. And I totally get it, because that needs to happen, and it's in the process. Like we have a lot of the things done already, and we have some of the other things that just need some tweaking. And so we need a budget for that, right? Like we need to hire like a copywriter for the website, so that right now the website is just more like the language is more about the products, and we need it to be more geared towards like more customer base. So we just want to hire somebody who's really good at that, so we don't have to spend all our time trying to figure out the wording and all that, right? Because we have other things going on. And for me, as a tantra practitioner, like I need to have my day so that I could book sessions, I could talk to clients, I can take care of myself, so I could be in the best energetic field that I can to facilitate these healings. So basically, I was just running down, I was just going through the budget list, and it's like, okay, what do we need this grant for, right? And I'm thinking, okay, we need a grant for the copywriter and for marketing and all of these things for the supplements, but we also need a space, right? We also need like a space that where we can have our workshops and our facility creation. And I was just thinking, because I shared with you earlier that I had a conversation with Hill about tuning into a possible collaboration, and I was just thinking, well, maybe I should just contact Hill and then find out what would be the estimate for like having a space there, right? Renting out, even if it's a room, right? Where or a space where we can have like one space is an office, one space is a healing room. Like it doesn't have to be complicated like that, right? In the future, maybe it's a bell tent where we can have like a red tent and we can have like women's gatherings there, and we can have like men and women coming together as well, right? So I was thinking, well, maybe we could just rent a room there to start out. We can have like a co-working space just to start, and then eventually maybe we can get like a bell tent, and it could be maybe something that's collaborative, that's for the community there, because they have a lot of events there too. So I was just thinking, they're already doing it. They have the space, they have the community. Why don't we just join that and contribute, right? Like financially contribute to the space as well, because the space needs to be generating a financial sustainability so that it can continue, right? So I'm like, well, why don't we just add that to the grant, right? Because if we're able to have a space, we're going to be so much more productive, right? We could like get to work on things like very productive and have the healing sessions and have that all be part of the income and basically generation for the organization so that we can keep growing. So that's what we're working on. We're working on the grant budgeting plan. And I was like, well, this is kind of like also what Jared is on his sheet on that manifestation process, right? There's a part about financing and resources. So I'm like, how do I plug these two things in? Because I feel like they're connected. So
yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate you thinking about how to do that and us being in the conversation about it to support the interconnecting, because that's really helpful that you're thinking about it from the beginning. And it's kind of like so let's look at it this way, like as an example where and by the way, have you met with Kahil yet about it?
No, but I'm about to call him. I've just been like waiting to have like just a very clear picture of what I'm telling him, right? What's my proposal, what my proposal is for him for collaboration.
I totally get that. And that's great. And that's where, again, I've been working on chopping up the videos a bit. So we've got like 15 video snippets now for you for all these different things to go on the page. It's not all on the page yet, but it will be, so that when you go to the mind map and you go to each bubble, that there's some video associated with that. Basically, it's going to take you to a web page with a video, so that, again, all of your thoughts are now out there. That's what we're doing, basically. Is we're letting everyone be able to speak their thoughts into the world. And now I'm going to, I'm creating the system to process the video. So this is about to be the most popular job positions in the world is video processors, because there's going to be all these people that are just saying everything, all these video processors that when it gets processed, go to all these web pages, mind maps, like all of this stuff, right? So then it gives you the ability to keep flowing with all of these people with more and more content as quickly as you can get it out of your mouth, basically, right? So you can imagine at a very advanced stage, you're just creating content all day long, and it's all getting captured and organized in this big, system that allows you to have everything that you're sharing with the world go into the way you're projecting into the world. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what we're just like in the process of right now, as I'm just starting it with you and starting to break down, what we're talking about and all of that. We've got all of these pieces, some to share with Kahil, some to share with Dave, some to share, with this. And so that's where, I'm visualizing it in my head. It's going to take a little while to actually do the programming, but we're going to get to where you can like cherry pick from all the content. You're like, I want to share this and this and this with Kyle, and you picked like the 3 video snippets or whatever. And then
yeah, and then the other thing that I wanted to share, that I have the vision for that place, because it's literally like a wonderland, right? So it's like it already has
I saw some pictures from Rico's party.
These plants, and it has like all of these beautiful water spring and things like that. So I was thinking, because it's part of our mission too, you know, to do permaculture education as well, and have gardens. So I was, and like an apothecary, right? So I was thinking, well, that could be something that's really good for the land too. You know, we could like have permaculture classes and have people come and do work parties and create spirals and mandalas, garden, herbal planting and food forest. They're already doing food forestry with like fruit trees, right? They probably don't have all of the different layers as like permaculture would, so they could definitely use some of that, right? I think that they could use like that type of somebody in the community that brings in that element, as well as like the healing. So I just see that it's such a wonderful capacity already there to plug and play, right? Like other elements that are happening.
It seems like a natural fit.
And enhance it. Yeah. It feels like it. But then I also want it to be like financially sustainable for everything, right? So yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're creating our expense budget plan of like what we would need. And I started thinking, oh my God, what if we start an apothecary there, right? And like, what are all the things we're gonna need for the grant to have an apothecary there? But I have to like also first have a conversation and make sure that's a place that would be open to that.
Right. The one thing that I totally get that. And the one thing that I'm thinking as you're saying it, I don't know, you know, what your thoughts are, you can share. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly where it is, but I heard like Homestead. So I know it's not like local for like Broward, certainly, and not a lot, you know, necessarily of Miami, unless people want to, you know, drive or travel. I'm just thinking in terms of if you want a vibrant practice that's serving the Broward and Dade, you know, communities, that you really want something central and easy and convenient for that.
That's true.
You're going to just cut down a lot of who's a potential client for you if they have to drive an hour to and back, you know, 2-hour round trip to get to you.
Yeah, that is true. I did have a thought about that, and I was thinking about having like kind of like, because you know, I'm a nomad, so we live like a gypsy type of lifestyle. So we still have the van. I could still do like Broward and do what I'm already doing. I have spaces here where I practice throughout Broward and Dade. So keeping all of that, and then having that space in the jungle more as like where we kind of get away and like do intensives, like, you know, we just go there and get work done, having like an office there and just disconnect from like the city and have a place in nature with other community members that are also creating beautiful events, right? Because that's what they do. They create these beautiful seasonal events, and then plugging in our piece of what we bring to the table, bringing in the permaculture education to the events, bringing in the tantra, like bringing in the herbalism, all of those things that can enhance what they're already doing, but just having like a little nook in nature there where we can have certain operations going, and of course keeping my mobility in Dade and Broward.
Yeah, I think that that's a good idea and a good strategy. I think, you know, the way that I'm thinking about it is everything that you just described in terms of what you can have in that space, I think is an awesome match. What I hear in my mind that's a little bit of a mismatch is when you talk about almost like an office space or a working space. Again, that can be for you or for anybody that wants to like be down in that area or make the travel.
Oh yeah.
But when you want to be creating a physical, energetic place that people are coming together at, you want to be, easy.
Yeah.
Make it as
For
easy
this,
as possible.
I'm thinking more like content creation, like having that space even be like a little content creation studio. Because we have a lot of content that we want to create. It's just like when you don't have like a stability of a place, right? It's like I had to go to Asheville to work with Rico on content, right?
Yeah, no, I totally understand what
Like
you're
get together and like film and do the set design and do all the things, right? So it's like, I don't know. I've been like this been turning over my mind, and I'm glad that you're seeing all of these little blind spots because maybe there are other options, right? Which there are. So yeah, just taking into consideration what is the most doable, practical.
and that you're going to get the results that you want. That's what you want to be focusing on, is what is my objective in this, right? What are the results I want to create? So what's the options that are going to give me more of the results that I want, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that the space, Kyo's space, I was saying, I don't know if you heard me, I saw a bunch of pictures from Rico's party from New Year's. So I saw a lot of what it looked like there, and it was amazing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
For sure. I have a sense of how like off the charts amazing it is. So I agree. There's a lot there to be integrated and do things. And, I definitely would love to see your energy in that space mixing all of the people that you bring in. All that. So no question to me that there's a lot there.
Yeah.
Again, from my mind, just like as a daily working space or regular working space, if you want to start to create, and you do, because you have enough needs that you're going to start to have an office and a staff and that sort of thing. You can do it, virtually, but again, what you want has sufficient needs for venues for you to start to figure out how to manifest them, right? So it's just a matter of defining, what do I need for an office? What do I need for a staff? What do I need for a temple? What do I need for this? And really defining what all of that looks like really specifically. And then once it's defined, then we can start to figure out paths of how to get there from where we are to where you want to go. That's kind of the way that I'm seeing it in my mind right now.
Yeah.
So in that case, again, the space in Homestead, I could see being a part of that and fitting in and playing roles in different areas. And I think what we want to do, and I want to like start zooming into like the where you are now and building out, so I can start to also get a sense of how we're building out as we're coming back from the big vision, right? So we're going to set the big vision and figure out how we get there. But also I want to tune into where you are now and look at like, again, what you're doing around workshops right now. What did your last workshops look like? Where did you do them? How did you do them? What does that look like? Give me an example of that so it can start to be tangible for me in that, specific.
Yeah. Well, last year, Rico and I, we did and with Ever and with Benja, we did like a Thai Tantra yoga couples Valentine's event, which was really cute.
And where did you do that?
We did it at a yoga studio. It was
in South Florida or North Carolina?
Yeah, no, it was in South Florida.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they had left already.
Yeah, and then we did another one which was called like Deep Dating, and that was at Inhale in Miami. So we did a few things, and then it was really fun. And then everybody went off. We kind of went traveling. I went into this vortex, and we descended in New Earth now and did things over there. Had a co-facilitated a week retreat in Tulum with New Earth Now, which was more like a New Earth mastermind creators type of gathering where people presented different type of ecology projects and regenerative projects. And so I kind of went off for a year, and then I came back to Florida, and that's when I caught up with you, right? So now that I'm back and I'm like just focusing right now on my practice, while everything else is brewing, basically I'm looking at creating I'm actually going to create another Valentine's event, and this one is going to be at my friend's spa. He has a spa in near Wynwood, and it's really cute. It has like an ozonated steam spa. I love ozonated steam spa. There's like a whole gamma of health benefits from steaming with ozone, right? So like just that alone, it's like a whole therapy. So I want to do like a hot, steamy, sexy yoga in the steam room. There's like 8 people that fit there. So it's basically like what I'm seeing there, it's a small event, but it's like private, a small circle, but it's like really high level, just like super, super juicy, right? We're steaming, we're doing hot, sexy yoga in the steam room. Then we have a elixir bar with all our herbs. And then we're doing like cool showers. So we're doing like hot and cold, maybe even like do like an ice bath. And then we have another like massage studio space where we could do the workshop, the Thai Tantra yoga, right? So just having it be for like couples or intimate friends that want to come in and they want to have a beautiful Valentine's experience, right? And I'm not seeing this as a huge event because the venue is more for having a more private circle, right?
Got it.
So that's that's something that I'm organizing now. And then I'm gonna have 10 days to get it out.
Sounds like an amazing event. That's really, really cool. I'm glad you're doing that. So I was just gonna say, do you know who like the 8 people are that you have in mind, or do you have 20 or 30 prospects for those 8 people?
Yeah, I would send out some messages to like people that I'm working with, and then I would make an event on Facebook. I'm thinking that I would do that, and I would send special invites to friends.
Have you figured out how much you want to charge for it?
Yeah, for that one, that's a good question. I'm thinking because it's like really high level, and I'm thinking that we're gonna have like an all-inclusive where we can have like some healthy snacks and all of the juices included, like everything, so like that you don't have to worry about anything while you're there.
That sounds
great.
Thinking
like at least for like the day, I'm thinking somewhere between like 150 or 200 for a couple, right? 222, something like that. Thinking for one day retreat. It's a mini retreat.
Yeah.
Valentine's retreat.
And that's per individual or per couple?
I'm thinking per couple.
Per couple?
Making it easy. Yeah, 222.
So, okay, got it. And okay, good. So you're going to invite like 3 or 4 other couples? Is that what you're saying? Imagining for the capacity?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Do you know if it's 3 or if it's 4, or it could be 4, or it can only be 3, or do you know what your capacity is?
Well, we like, for example, the steam room fits 8 of us.
So it is the other couples. Right?
6 to 8. 6 to 8. Yeah, and ideally they're couples. Yeah, so everybody can be nice and close, right, in the steam room, and it's part of the experience. And we're doing like massages in the steam room, and
right. So besides you and your partner, you're going to have 3 other couples, is what you're opening it up in terms of. Okay.
Yeah.
And okay, I think that sounds amazing. And I think I'll have to process like any ways that you can leverage this event. It sounds pretty straightforward and pretty self-contained. I think maybe, the biggest thing would be whatever video content that you could get out of the whole experience, and have that.
Oh yeah.
That
would be really good.
Yeah. You really want to capture, if it's going to be a day-long thing, you're going to want to capture a bunch of different things, and but at least you have the raw footage of a bunch of different awesomeness. And also, so the things you want to think about are, having people that you're going to do it with agree in advance to whatever kind of terms of the video capture you want. You just let them know, I have to capture this event so I can leverage it for my future events and promotions and that sort of thing. So whoever's going to come needs to be cool with being in the production, and you'll in the video, exactly. And you'll, explain, what like level of dress or undress or whatever will be included or not included, so they understand, that,
exactly
what the expectation is of what's going to be published, so that they can feel comfortable. So just to have that, whole conversation and negotiation with each of the couples in advance, so that you're clear to capture everything as much as you can. That's going to be really important, because that's the way that you can then promote, something even bigger, even better, but show them the quality and how happy they are. Also talk to people about if they would mind doing a testimonial afterwards, of the whole experience for them. And if they're willing to do that, if they're happy, if you're happy with the experience afterwards, would you be willing to do a testimonial, something like that, just to set them up in advance, so that, again, it can be expected, and then you can create those, and then you'll have that to really be able to, take it to the next level next time, right?
Yeah,
it won't
I like that.
it won't have to be just Angie telling people, hey, we're going to do the, hey, we're going to do. It's you having a really awesome video that shows exactly what people are going to get. So again, this is the inspiration in a video packaged with the incentive, what they're going to get out of giving you, in the future, $222, but you're doing it now, per person and for 100 people, in this venue.
Right.
But you've captured what you needed out of this one event to be able to create that next level event. You get what I'm saying?
Right. That's right. Yes. That's exactly right. Yeah. That's why we need all our skilled people listening. So that, like, that would be the videographer, we know who to call, right?
I missed the last part you said. It didn't come through exactly. Say that again.
Well, you were talking about where we're going to have like the list of what everybody needs, and then what everybody has, so that then it's easy to find, like, video person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. So that we'll have the whole pool of resources. So yeah. So the main thing for you to focus on, again, from my perspective for this event, is making sure that you have that conversation in advance with people, so that it's not like a surprise and they don't say, oh, I wasn't planning that. And then they're already signed up and you didn't, you can't do the video now because they are, you get what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah. I need to have it well stipulated and written, I think, like, even in a written form, and have like some form of written agreement with time.
Exactly. And, let them know, I really appreciate you doing this, and, I can also support you in this way, and figure out what other incentives you can offer or whatever, or I don't know, just some way that the exclusivity.
Have a bonus or something.
Well, actually, for the exclusivity and the price, you're already giving them a great deal. So you can just say, in order to give you this great of a deal, it's because I can only invite, friends that are comfortable in doing this recording with. And actually, you really want to think about, ideally, whoever is the most influential or the most inspiring on video, really, of who you're doing this with. If you can hand pick them, it's obviously, people are attracted to what they see, and whatever you're putting on camera is going to be what you're attracting people with. So we're going to actually start to play with this a lot, because, as you know, I've been in this world, in the Goddess Dancers world, in terms of how to create things attractive visually and how to capture it and all of that sort of thing. You were there for the Peacock dance at Inhale Miami, right?
I think you were there. I think so.
That for Rico's birthday, New Year's, like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was there.
And so again, the visual capture, Lisa's a master, and I'm sure that she would love to support you with all of this as well. Have you been in touch with her?
I haven't been in touch with her. I need to reconnect with her. I love Lisa.
I'm sure. And also I shared with you, you know, a friend of hers I'm thinking to connect you with on the venue side. We'll get into, you know, all of those details more, but I want to narrow back to your event right now, and then also talk about not just the event, but, you know, the practice and the sessions and just the what you're doing on a weekly basis and what you want to do with that from a business perspective, right? Is it referral sources that, you know, are great things for you, or what are your channels of, you know, sources of, you know, clients, revenue? And then once you have clients, do you have like higher and higher levels that you know, that you provide? You know, there's all kinds of different ways to structure your business, you know, to optimize and maximize your time, right? Because that's the one limiting factor you have, right? So, so especially, you know, in the law of economics, you know, the less the supply, the more the demand in general, right? And as you start to create more and more awareness of, you know, all the awesomeness that you're offering, it'll create more and more demand. You'll have less and less supply, and you'll have higher and higher prices. That's how economics works. So, you know, that's at least an easy way to, you know, just start at least getting you paid more for your existing time, but then also figuring out ways for you to start to do more exclusive types of things with groups of your clients and real, you know, all of those sorts of things, and just kind of programming it all really specific. That's where my mind is going right now. So tell me how much, tell me how much time you have left so I can kind of judge what we should get into today.
Yeah. So basically, let's see. My phone is running low on battery, so I might have to run it back in and plug it in. I think like 20 more minutes. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. So I think let's spend a little bit of time talking about that, because I want to at least plant some seeds with your, you know, your daily, you know, revenue flow and what you want it to be like and how you want to set it up. We want to start heading towards the tantric temple, like you're talking about, and involving other people. So, you know, as much as you can think of where you can synergize and, you know, have strategic partnerships with other people that can be like referral sources, for example. Like I would imagine that, you know, like all kinds of yoga instructors, you know, that aren't doing, you know, being a tantric practitioner, all of them, you know, are potential referral sources for you, right?
Right.
Yoga studios being like a quick and easy one to think of off the top of our head. What are other referral sources that you've identified of places that you could be sent? Maybe like even like chiropractors or physicians or Ayurvedic specialists, or who?
Yeah, you're saying like that where they could refer business to me?
Exactly. They could refer new clients to you.
I see. Well, I think that basically all of the above that you mentioned, even like Chinese medicine doctors, acupuncturists, things of that nature.
And so have you in the past ever like done like a marketing campaign to those types of professionals, like with postcards or with any other kind of method, or dropping off business cards or at their location, or what have you done in those ways?
I haven't done that. I know I think when I was more into yoga teaching, I did postcards for yoga classes, things like that. But for the tantra, I haven't done that.
Do you have specific people now that have been sending you clients?
Yeah. We have this tantra practitioners directory where basically they're able to find
various
practitioners. Yeah.
Okay, so they're finding you there. So what is
Mhm.
that? Is that a website that I can check out and see what they're seeing
Yeah.
when they go there?
Yeah, you can check it out. It's called Sacred Arrows. Sacred Arrows.
So
And I'm working on building my own personal site now.
okay, good.
The Tantra site, because I had my permaculture one and I have the Eco-Rainbow Goddess products. But right now I'm working on the Tantra one, so that eventually I can have that set up and have SEO or whatever I need to do with that.
So, okay, so I'm sorry, I was typing while you were saying that. So you're saying you're getting your new, you've had a website, but now you're getting a new tantric website set up?
This is for the Tantra, specifically for the Tantra, yeah.
Okay, and you're saying that's getting set up right now. Do you have an idea? You have an idea of when you're going to be launching that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, well, I need it to be ready by the middle of March.
By the middle of March? Okay.
Yeah.
And so with what you were just saying before in terms of the other site, I couldn't totally hear it. And I was just thinking, I wasn't sure if you wanted to share it on the video or not. If you want to share it on the video, let's make it really clear. Because I think if you want anybody that's seeing this to go and check, look into you, then let's put it
I mean,
out.
I don't see why not.
Okay. So what's the site?
Sacred Arrows.
.com.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a directory, so they have to look.
Yeah.
So they have to look you up, and they look you up by.
Yeah, there's a directory, and there's different practitioners all around the states.
So
and the world.
So they look you up by your name, or how do they find you?
Well, they look up locations, and they look up wherever location they're at. Right, if they're in Florida, they click U.S., Florida, or if they're in California, they look up California, wherever they're at. And so then they get the directory for the petitioners in that region. And then they get to go through all the profiles and choose who they want to work with. Got it.
So that's one of the main ways that you're finding new clients is through that source.
Yeah. It's very effective. It's a very effective directory.
Okay, good. So then so do they set prices or you set prices or how does that work?
No, I set prices. So basically I have my clients that want to work with me or potential clients, they book a discovery call. So then I get on the phone with them and I have a questionnaire and I ask them about their sexuality and what challenges they're having with that. What are they looking for? What do they need? And I get a feel for the energy of the person. I'm very selective. I don't work with anybody. Like that person has good solid intentions about the work that they want to do. And once I get that feel for that energy, then if it's a good fit, then I give them my prices and make an appointment.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So great. So that's the process. So basically using the directory, the way that you would be able to raise your prices on the directory is if you're somehow distinguishing yourself beyond other people on the directory. And do you do that like on the directory or on your own website? Like, can you?
No, I don't have the prices on the directory because the prices are on a case by case basis. So, I find out who that person is, what are their intentions. I also gauge, how challenging or not challenging it may be to work with them. So pricing is also going to depend on that. And also on the time that we're going to work together, right? And so the prices vary depending on who I'm working with, and also like income, right? Some people might have more income than other people, so I get a feel for that as well. And based on all of that, then I have different sliding scale variations.
Got it.
pricings. Yeah.
Okay, great. So tell me then, that's awesome. All of that information is so great because that's going to be like perfect on your webpage now. So it's great that we got all of that down. So tell me, tell me what ways you would like to, expand or evolve this part of your business right now, so I can understand, where we're headed with it.
For sure. Yeah. So basically, I just signed up to go to it's called Somananda Tantra training. It's like a massage therapist, Tantra massage therapist training to gather more education. When you're on this path, you're constantly re-educating yourself and gathering more knowledge, gathering more tools, more skills, and to replenish your plethora of tools, right, that you can use. So I'm going to be attending that in the end of March. And basically what I want to do with that is I'm continuing to not perfect because it's never going to be perfect. It's a continuously growing process, right? But as I continue to refine my craft, I want to be able to do trainings for other people that want to learn how to be a practitioner with this particular methodology that I've been developing already and that I continue to develop as I grow. So what I want to do with the Tantric Conservatory is have that be a platform for that, where it's like a conservation of all of this knowledge of embodiment, which I feel like it's very important as the world keeps getting more technological. People are more in their computers rather than in their bodies. So I feel like it's going to conserve that capacity to be in the body. And also I want to be able to invite other practitioners as well that I resonate with or that feels good to work with them, and invite them to give guests classes.
That's really, really great. I'm getting it now. So I'm seeing the virtual version of it very clear, and easy to gather from, across the world, across the country in some virtual place with these people. But also I understand, like you're describing, that you're there, you're doing the physical work there. There are others around you, and you can create this tantric temple in this physical location and then have that replicated in other locations. So I think, I also want to tune in. I don't know how much we can get into it more today. I know we're getting close to the end. How to identify, are there other people, practitioners in the area that you are already friendly with and connected?
I am. Actually, I'm supposed to, after this call, I need to get in touch with somebody here in West Palm Beach who contacted me and wants to work with me. They're really interested in my practice, and she's also a tantra practitioner and works with particular modalities to help people, particularly men, to get off porn addiction. So I'm gonna be gathering with her. She seems like she's very wise. I checked out her Instagram and I feel like we're resonating, like our messages are resonating. So I'm gonna go meet up with her and just create some friendly connections there for our future collaboration.
Yeah, that's so great. I'm thinking, as you're describing this, I'm thinking about, what it looks like to have a physical space, like you're talking about, have a vibrant community around that. And it seems like really that can happen as soon as you can get a certain critical mass of local tantric practitioners that all can benefit from and would want to co-create a space like that. You just need enough volume, essentially, right? Of co-creators in order to support, the weight of the whole thing.
I think to start out, I feel like to start out, I need, cause what I want to do is I want to register this as a church. And as a church, we need to create all of our bylaws and all of the documentation of the ministry. So I have to go through that process. And basically when I'm going through that process, it's kind of have to like dig into the message that I want to,
We lost the video, by the way, if you're able to get that back. Are you there, Angie? Oh, did we lose you, Angie? Can you hear me? I'm not hearing you. I don't hear you, Angie.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back and you're plugged in.
back.
Okay. Yeah. So, so I'm sorry, what was the last thing that we were talking about?
So we were talking about basically, I was sharing with you how I want to register the conservatory, Tantra Conservatory as a church,
Right.
508c1a. There's certain benefits for doing that. And also once the bylaws and all like the foundations are formed for that, then I would like to invite other practitioners in as well to like plug and play into the field. But yeah, I feel like gotta start one step at a time.
Got it. So that's the first step. So then do you have a time frame that you're expecting to be completed with that? The church filing?
The 508. Well, you know, I have to take things one step at a time because everything it's a financial investment. You know, it's like right now I just registered for this course. That's like a lot of money. I placed a deposit, but I have to like finish paying it. And then doing the whole registration and all the bylaws and all the paperwork for the church. That's like another $2,500, you know, so I have to kind of like just take it one step at a time and make the payments and all the things and complete all the things. But I would think that I would like to have the conservatory registered by the middle of the year. I mean, that would be ideal.
Okay, great. That's great. Okay, cool. So I guess let me dial it back a little bit to ask you just very directly, you know, what ways do you think that Uniting for Action can support your business right now? Are you at business capacity, or it seems like you can either raise your prices to get more benefit from the same amount of time, or I'm not sure what else, or fill up more hours if you have more hours of capacity and you're not at your full business capacity. So you tell me, you know, where the growth opportunity is for you right now. Where can we expand?
I feel like right now what I really, you know, I kind of feel good right now with the sessions, the way they're working out, because it seems to be like it works out with my schedule, and I don't like to just do sessions back to back all the time, right? Because then it kind of like I need my creative space for all the other things I'm working on as well. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just more selective with who I work with, and I do more because the quality of my work is very good. I do more higher pricing, but less volume. That's how I prefer to work.
Right.
So less volume at a higher pricing.
Right.
And then what I really want to do is focus on this budget expense list that I need to turn into the grants person, and you know, where they're asking us about like payroll for staff, and I'm just thinking about like, okay, you know, all these things, because that's like my weakness is that, right? It's like, oh my God, how do I figure out all these things, right? How much money do I need for all these things?
That's the thing. I looked at all those numbers and I was like, I don't know what numbers I can help you with on that. You know,
okay. I mean, Rico and I, we came up with that, and I feel like it's good.
It's
Right.
it's decent. I don't know how accurate it is because I have nothing to judge by. The only one thing I could
Yeah.
kind of tell was the website, and if you guys have it handled for $850 is what you had the budget. If you have some source you know you can do that for
No,
that.
right now it's only for the copy. The website's already done, but it needs to be the copyright. It needs
Got
to
it.
be edited. Yeah.
Got it. And I wasn't sure because you had asked me if I thought you should budget some for this type of work, which of course,
Yeah, because I feel like, you know, as right now we're doing the council and the United for Action, and it's almost like I almost see you as a consultant too, right? So
well, for sure, I'm providing a lot of business
Mhm.
value that we're going to be charging a lot of people for. And honestly, the only way I can go to this level with you is because you're providing a lot of value by connecting me with all of the people that you're connecting me with, and the way that you're going to be a connector of Uniting for Action getting out there in the world, right? The money that you've provided is, you know, was gone long ago in terms of the amount of work. It's just the additional value that you're providing, and that's where we're learning how to identify this currency and leverage this currency. Exactly. That you're able to leverage the currency of all of your relationships and influence, that you can create streams of income for Uniting for Action that allow me to dive deeper with you and give you more value, you know, and let you be one of the real pioneers of all of this, because we've got a flow exchange of value, right? That's working for both of us. And that's, so again, one, I'm trying to figure out where I can help you increase your finances, you know, by what we're doing. So I really want to tune in to what can Uniting for Action do and what can I do to increase your finances, increase what you want beyond finances, but maybe help you scale quicker in finances too. You know, I'm not sure. That's what we have to kind of play with a little bit. But, you know, at the same time, finances is a very high need for me right now, as you know, as well.
Exactly.
So for sure, you know, this is where I expect that a lot of people that you're going to be referring me to are going to be paying over time hundreds of dollars per month, thousands of dollars per month, because that's what they're getting out of the system. That's 10% of what they're getting out of the system, right? That people, that we're going to set up this flow cycle, right? Where all of this flow is happening. So again, that's where you and I are playing this other game of you connecting Uniting for Action with the world and with networks. And oh, I forget if I said it last. I know we were heading down this path. Let me get really clear on the percentages, because they're clear in my mind now. And I want you, I think we did say, now I can't remember whether we talked about it. So it's 10% for the person that's making the connection between the two, right? So, and then the two that are connecting are allocating 15% is going to be provided to the collective. Okay. So whoever is doing business together, they need to account for that in their pricing, that they're going to, whoever's receiving the money essentially needs to ask for 15% more, or work it out so that, you know, they're getting in the right amount to give 15% to Uniting for Action, right? And then 10% of that is going to go to the person that connected them, right? So that's going to be you if you're the connector, right? So between George,
10% for the connector.
Exactly. So between George and I, if you know, if I'm paying George, you know, $200,000 for what he's doing, then you're going to get, you know, 10% of that. Okay, 10% of the 200,000. Okay. That's the 10% of the transaction, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's the standard that we want to set up in the system. Now, people, if they choose, they can make a special agreement with whoever they're making the agreement with. And George can say, hey, I'm not going to give, you know, 10%. I only want to give whatever percent. And then everyone agrees, and that's what happens. But we want to set this as a standard within the system. So it's 15% comes out of the transaction, 10% goes to the connector, the one that connected the two entities. 2% goes to the person that brought in the person that does the connector, right? Whoever signed you up. So let's say that you sign up a person and that person, you know, connects two people, that you're getting 2% of whatever, you know, the connection is that person is making. That makes sense. So in other
Yeah.
words, if you sign George up and George connects 2 people and he gets 10% of that deal, you're going to get 2% of that deal, because you brought George in, right?
Oh, it trickles down.
And then even one more level
Yeah.
where it's 1% for the person that signed you up, because
Yeah, I
then
really like that. I think we need to do that in Ascended. I want to bring that up to Tsunami. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
messed up.
So
Yeah.
so that's the thing, is we're going to start creating this as a foundation because it's so incentive driven, because the
Mhm.
people, it makes it so much that you want to help people is what it comes down to, because everybody that's coming into the system is going to a higher level of results, right? So we're helping people create higher level results with the system, with the network of people. And then if people are being in resistance for whatever reason, we've got this whole scope of coaches and psychologists and people who are there to help people and being able to embrace all of these opportunities, right? Because we can only embrace whatever we are ready or whatever we're in energetic alignment to, right? Whatever we're not rejecting and holding ourselves apart from. So that's a part of the whole system as well, is that we're creating the opportunity for everybody to interact and support each other. We're creating we're bringing the people together that are doing it, and then we're providing the support for people to be able to, live into the highest versions of themselves. So just want to kind of tie that up while we're talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds great. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah. So at this point, again, getting back to your budget, of course, anything that you can put in there. If I have to, here's the thing, it's really hard for me to put a value on what I'm doing right now, because I want to train analysts and have student interns doing analysis and video process, all these sorts of things. So I don't know where the price is going to get. For right now, every time I'm processing one of these 1.5 videos, it's probably at least 10 hours for just one of them to process it, get it in a page. I'm still figuring. Exactly. I'm still figuring out. It's crazy amount of time. That's why it's taking so long and it's so challenging. So again, if I was charging somebody, it would probably be at least like $1,000 every video that we're doing. So again, if you want to really budget it, and if we're keeping on a track of like 2 videos a month, it might be like $2,000, but if we are looking like a month from now or 2 months from now, maybe we've got all these interns and we've got all these people trained and the cost is much less, right? I can't say exactly where the cost is going to end up on this, but for right now, it is a super high cost. Right now, it is a super high cost to me. So any ways that you can offset that with finances, obviously, is very helpful.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking like, okay, how, we're working with Jared and I almost see him like a consultant, right? So they're asking me about like staff and all these different things. So I'm thinking about, okay, well, what if we account that as a staff member or how, because it's all counting towards the mission, right?
Exactly.
And how can we get some funding for the things that we want to do, right? So those were my thoughts, and that's why I was sharing that with you.
Yeah, no, I totally appreciate it. So I would say to you, if you want to put it in the budget, I would say probably account for like, if you can, $2,000 to $4,000, which would give you, really high level consulting from me or somebody that I feel like is giving you super high level consulting to be able to.
We had that, but we have like business consulting. And then what I just think about right now is I need to have like a budget for like video, right? Video editing, all of that. Yeah.
That's the plans, and that's what we talk about in the planning process, right? To be able to have the analysts give you like what really do I need for video and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I would say, going back now that I think about it, I would say, if you want to budget $2,000 for this type of ongoing level of support, I think that's appropriate. Do you feel that that's an appropriate amount to pay for the type of support that you've been getting from Uniting for Action?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're saying 2,000, is this per month or?
Yeah, that's what I would say. I would say if
Okay.
you wanted to have it ongoing at this level, let's say 2,000 per month. And, you know, I think again, you're getting more now. It might be a little less than me, but I think that that's going to be a reasonable consulting level to show you really solid results every month and be able to do the type of thing that we're doing, which is to create videos where you're speaking the world into existence. It's getting processed in the ways that it needs to turn into these mind maps and turn into these pages. And you're going to start doing it more and more and more with people like George and people like Kelly and people. A big part, I'm going to say a big part, but some of your time will start to be to really help these other people see what all of this is, to really like bring them in. Like right now, if you knew that George coming in and being totally connected and us going to the highest level would mean tens of thousands of dollars or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in commissions to you, then you're highly incentivized to make sure this works out between us, right? You're frozen right now, so I'm not hearing you. Can you hear me? Are you still there, Angie? I'm still seeing your face, but I'm not hearing you at all. I can't hear you. Let me pause. So Angie is apparently not able to join back again right now. So I'm just going to wrap up the video by answering the question that I asked. So yes, then Angie is highly incentivized to have George and I connect and do business together, because she's going to earn potentially a lot of money. 10% could be a lot of money between us. So, you know, that's the incentive though for everybody to connect somebody in their world. So again, when this is systematized, everybody's got, oh, I got to connect this person with this person. I've got to connect this person with this person, especially, oh, great that Angie's coming back on. Awesome. Hey, hey, hey. I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you. You're on mute. Or no, you're not on mute, but I'm not hearing you.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Got
there
it.
you go.
There we
Great.
go.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. There
Okay.
we go.
Yeah, so I was actually just making like a monologue to finish up to answer the question I asked of you, which is, yeah, you know, if it was worth tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to you, you would want to make well sure that George and I connect and do high level business together, right? And that's the incentive for everybody in the system to connect somebody that they know, right? I could connect this person with this person because they could do this together. They could do so again. But in particular, right now with you, you know, not just George, but Tsunami and Kelly and others that you have in your mind. I know that you have a whole, you know, list of people that you can be eventually, you know, bringing in, and it's just a matter of, you know, step by step. You know, because you're the connector, you know, figuring out the best way and the most inspiring way and what information to provide. So actually, that's where, you know, we'll start to work a little bit more closely. I'm putting the information together. I've been focusing on yours first, so there's not even a lot, you know, to share about like the manifestation process page. Been working on getting your pages down, but I've got a whole idea of what I want to share on the manifestation page. And again, for you to share certain things, I want to share this part with Kelly, and I want to share this part with Kelly, and I want to share this part with Tsunami. And you get what I'm saying? Right. Like, but this, and systematically, this is the way the system starts to work, right? Like Angie's got all of this, and then out of what Angie has, I'm going to pick this, I'm going to pick this, I'm going to pick this, and I'm going to send that to this friend, because these are the parts of Angie that they would really appreciate, right? And it's too, and I'm not just going to send them to Angie and let them figure it out. It's like I'm creating a system that we all get to cherry pick these pieces and package it up along with like a video, like, hey, Jeremy, here's a couple of videos that I've handpicked that I know you'll really resonate with. I want to connect you with Jared. You guys are on the same page regarding this. You should see, you get what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
is
It's like
system,
the jewels that are specific to particular partners.
exactly. And that we're creating a system that makes it systematized for you to just go to any of your connections, cherry pick, package, include your own video, include your own comments, whatever, send it along with the idea that it's going to resonate wherever you're sending it. They're going to make the connection with whatever, and then you're going to benefit. So again, we in a broadcast way, it looks like being an influencer, right? And in an individual way, you're an influencer as well, right? Like people look to you for certain things, not necessarily for other things, So we get to choose these realms that we're influencing in, and this system allows us to be very direct in our offers and how we're packaging things and how we're connecting people. So that's all of like the specifics of how the system is going to work. And again, you're being a pioneer where right now, essentially, I've been holding off on, like asking you to follow up more with, Kelly or Tsunami, because we don't have their pages yet, right? I created Cedar Island because that was simple. Let me show you actually where I'm at with Abundancia, because I guess I haven't shown it to you yet now that I'm thinking about it.
And I'm checking in with Kelly next week.
Mm-hmm.
So what I can do is I could send her this. And then ask her and Joe to connect with us.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm going to, this isn't even, this is, okay, I started to get into it. So with Abundancia, that's the thing is I haven't even been mentioning it because I've been wanting to get this like more put together for them. So here's the mind map, and then here's your vision, and then the concepts behind Abundancia. So actually, this is not that. This is the
Cedar Island.
The Cedar Island page, exactly. But the way I broke it down is it's going to be concepts, and then components, and then locations, because that's the way it is on the mind map. So we've got concepts and components and locations. So I'm starting to break the mind map down into pieces on the web pages, and then with the
I want to connect Kelly to Cedar Island because she's a newest developer, and I think that it would be a great partnership, right? So
exactly. So it's perfect. Again, it's just natural for Kelly and these others to start using the system again, whether they become leadership council members or not. And again, I'm open to any of the people you've been talking about so far being on the leadership council, because it seems like they could be, but even if they just want to be a user of the system, just using the system to put their visions out there and to work with you and all of that. Again, there's a lot of automation we still need to bring, but we need to start bringing in enough users that we have enough,
I know what you're talking about.
Enough resources to build it out and to work it. Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. So it's perfect. It's perfect. I appreciate, the ways that you're weaving all of that. The one thing I wanted to mention, just so that you have an awareness, because we're going to start to get really deeper into this. The another currency is, being able to rely on people, right? We want to be able to rely on people at the highest level, because then when we're thinking about people who we want to connect people with, we want to make sure that, they're going to take care of them, right? So there's certain people that like we need to know 100% that they're going to get taken care of. And if something, if somebody didn't follow through on what they said to that person, it would be a poor reflection on us. And now all of a sudden we wouldn't have the same standing with that person. You know what I mean?
I see. Yeah.
And so it's going to be a big part of our currency in the system, how well we are following through on what we're telling people that we're going to do, because that's all going to be scored, because people are scoring it anyway, the way I just described, right? Mm-hmm. People are like, oh, geez, that happened. And like, there's no way I can even consider that happening with this person. So I just can't connect that person with this person. So it starts it starts to constrict our possibilities when we, any of that. So again, we're going to have all these ways that we're going to gamify it, but I'm just mentioning it because, we as the leaders and as the ones that are setting it, we have to be thinking about it and thinking about what a difference it makes and thinking about what level we want to operate at, right? Who do we want to be? Who do we want to be connected with? How much revenue, how much important people, all of those sorts of things. Because the higher and higher we go up the ladder, the less and less tolerance there will be for, not following through on things, right? Not being able to rely on people, all of that sort of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just putting it out there because as we're bringing other people into it, we have to think about that too. And at the same time, we want to be very generous and understanding. So we don't want to make it like a bad thing or a good thing, but just like a reality check. Like everybody is trying their best to like stretch their limits of where they can go. So, I trample my word, all of the time. So I understand that it's a challenge for all of us. It's just a matter of all of us thinking in terms of the fact that, it's a currency within this system. And if I want to have maximum currency in the system, then I have to have like a perfect score with everybody, right? You get what I'm saying? And any ways that my perfect score is coming down is just limiting my capacity to create at the highest levels. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally get that.
Cool. That was something I really wanted to get on.
Sounds good. Well, yeah. Well, with that being said, put in a word with George, see what he's thinking. I know we need to follow up on our correction too. So I'll drop in, check in, and follow up with the rest of the partners.
Yeah, with George too, just to let you know, what I've been thinking about is I've been thinking that George, I really like, what he's sharing. He sent me an automated email yesterday and I replied to it to have like a 2-hour session with him next week. And, I like what he's doing with people and the way that he's working with people. And to me, he's one of the people that can really be featured in helping people get to the higher level, right? So we're going to feature all of these people, these coaches, whatever. And so to me, that's probably the number one thing at the moment for George in terms of, value, immediate value that we could offer, is that he can be really, really featured as somebody that can really, really help these leaders, right? That he's a helper of leader, that he's an empowerer of leader, and he has the tools to support leaders in really achieving what they want, especially in these automated systems, these automated lead systems and that sort of thing. I think a lot of people can really use that. So I think that, I don't think we got everything. I don't think that I got everything out the other night, to him about ways that yes, having a win-win. So I'm still processing it, but I, sent enough materials, I think, the other day to get started and start the conversation and let him, see what he says and see where we go from there.
Part of developing a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And I appreciate, the cultivating that you're doing. I really appreciate that you stayed on for the whole call. And at the end, you were looking for ways to describe it in a way that you thought that we could create win-win and all of that. So I see, again, what you're doing and how well you're doing and the model that you're being for others to show others, like, this is how we do it. This is how we connect people. This is how we create connections. So thank you so much for doing it. I really appreciate and honor you. And, I think at this point,
thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. I want to let you feel that and acknowledge that. Yeah. And I think at this point, let's, it's gonna probably be at least a few days before I can process this video, because I still want to go back and process the other ones to have you be able to share the finalized pages with Tsunami and Kelly and that sort of thing. That's where I'm at right now to create those pages so that it's more for them to see and that sort of thing. And and so then the next steps are just, I think we'll see by Monday, by our meeting, by our leadership council meeting where we're at. You and I will just kind of communicate on WhatsApp and that sort of thing from here. And we'll see like when we're ready for our next meeting and where we can take things. But I think that we've got a lot of kind of fires in the iron right? Or
Yeah.
irons in
We
the
got
fire.
it. We do.
And so we'll let them kind of sizzle a little.
Simmer. We'll let them simmer. Yeah.
Yes, we'll let them simmer and see what we can make of all of this. So, Angie,
That's great. All
yeah,
right. Blessings. Thank you so much, Jared. You're doing so amazingly.
I appreciate
And
it.
yeah, and then I'll follow up with you about the payment thing that you said didn't work. I'm gonna look into it.
Okay, let's get that worked out. This afternoon today. I don't want you waiting.
Okay,
So let's
no
figure
problem.
out one way or
All
another.
right, sounds good. Thank you. We'll talk
Okay,
soon.
awesome, Angie. Thank
Bye.
you. See you. Bye bye.